I can track it with my spectral proximity sensor. I can't waste any time. I've got to track that thing. Hello? Anybody here? Oh, this might come in handy. There's a note on the door. On vacation back next Monday. That's not where I need to go now. Is that the sheriff? What's he about then? Excuse me, are you a Damite?
Come on, run, little girl.
What the hell is going on here? I've never heard of Damites this far north. I can't waste any time. I've got to track that thing.
Run, little girl.
There's nothing of interest in that direction. Hello? Anybody here? It won't open. can't waste any time. I've got to track that thing. There's nothing of interest in that direction.
This must be where pies go when they die.
We see you, Burkittsville. Shit! Yes! We will eat you. We are in your hide. You can do that. Little girl. Come on.
It's locked. want from me?
We are your dad.
What have I done? I've killed all of them. I just had the most disturbing dream. The people of Burkittsville turned into horrible creatures. I killed all of them, but then they transformed back into humans. I had no choice. I lost control of myself. I killed those people. I remember seeing the stranger. He was standing above me, looking down. God, I was dead. I was shot through the head, but the gun was in my hand. I wonder what it all means. This town must be really getting to me. I wish I'd just fled from the monsters, ran into the forest or something so I wouldn't have been forced to kill them. I can't carry all my gear in town. I'll get it before I go into the woods.
Miss Holliday.
Hello.
I hate to pry, but what brings you to the town of Burkittsville anyway?
Actually, I'm here on rather grim business. I have a sister who lives in Martinsburg. A few months ago, her daughter disappeared.
Oh, my. That's just awful, man. You don't think Rustin and Parr?
After 3 months, we're desperate to find any clue. So, what do you know about Parr?
Not much. Parr was a hermit. He only came into town when he had to. No one really knew old Rustin. Enjoying your stay so far?
Well, I might fare better if I had a telephone in my room.
Oh, well, you see, this is a small town. We only got 2 phones. One's in the sheriff's office. The other's at the school in case of emergencies. We got a couple of telegraph machines, though. I got one right here.
That will do. Can you send a wire now?
Suppose so. Where to?
This address, please.
Ready.
Have some leads. Stop. Tell S to stay home. Stop. Love, Elspeth. Stop.
All done.
Thank you.
Still planning on going into that forest?
Yes, I am.
Your funeral? Still planning on going into that forest?
Yes, I am.
Your funeral?
No, I shouldn't interrupt class.
Welcome back, Miss Holliday. Sleep well last night?
Oh, not really. I had the most disturbing dream.
Haven't we all? I doubt anybody in this town's getting much sleep lately. Can I get you something to eat?
Just coffee, thanks.
So, have you talked to the sheriff about your niece yet?
No.
Well then, you better get right over there. Town hall is just on the other side of the church. Talk to you later, hon. So, have you talked to the sheriff about your niece yet?
No.
Well then, you better get right over there. Town hall is just on the other side of the church. Talk to you later, hon.
Hold it. Stop right there.
Are you Sheriff Bowers?
I know why you're here. Martinsburg's out of my jurisdiction. Check with the sheriff there.
We've done that, thank you. But there's been no sign of Jenny since she vanished. We are completely out of leads, and my sister's getting desperate. So I decided to come here and see.
And you think Rustin Parr took your niece? Listen, lady, 8 children disappeared from this town. One of them is back home right now, staring at the corner of his room. The other 7 we dug out of shallow graves in Parr's basement. We searched every corner of that house. There was nothing else there. Be on your way.
Sheriff had a point, you know. All 7 kids we found in Parr's basement were local kids.
I'd like to see his house.
The Parr place? Yeah. Well, you see, the day they sentenced Parr, a lot of folks, well, they got all worked up and went out to his house, burned it to the ground.
They destroyed the house?
Now, these people have been through hell this year. Now, I'm not excusing what they did, but tempers were running hot. Some of these people lost their children. And it's not like there was anything left out there anyway. We went over the entire place with a fine-tooth comb. We found everything we needed to put Parr away for good. This trial was quick.
Is there any way I could talk to the judge who presided? I've got some questions I'd like to ask.
Well, that trial must have worn him out because he just, up and left without telling anyone. I came in and that sign was on the door. It's not really like him, but he's earned a few days off. Sorry, ma'am. If there's anything else we can do to help.
Charlie, get in here.
How might I speak to Pa myself?
Hobart, that'll be enough of that. We got our hands plenty full around here without having the problems of other towns dumped in our laps. Now you go take your troubles to Sheriff Bram in Martinsburg. You leave me and my officers alone. You got it? The Parr case is closed.
I'm not going to bother the sheriff. The sheriff has proven less than helpful. He's on edge and openly hostile to me. The deputy, on the other hand, might be willing to help. I should talk to him when the sheriff isn't around. That these people destroyed the crime scene is infuriating. There's no way that this backwater sheriff could have found the clues that I suspect littered that place. So much evidence lost.
So, have you talked to the sheriff about your niece yet?
I did, unfortunately.
Ooh, I think I know what you mean. He's not a particularly jolly fellow to begin with. To be quite honest, sometimes he's even downright mean, especially to women. But he's been unusually cranky even for him. Speak of the devil.
Gretchen.
Hello yourself. What can I get for you? The usual?
You bet.
Talk to you later, hon.
What's wrong with you, lady?
Now's my chance to speak to the deputy alone. He obviously wanted to talk before, but the sheriff put a quick stop to that.
Ma'am? Miss Holliday?
Yes?
Well, since the sheriff isn't here right now, I wanted to tell you. Well, I can't offer you much help, but this might be of some use. Every so often I find these crazy stick figures in Parr's cell. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how he gets them in there.
Would you be able to give one to me?
Well, I had no need of them, so I've always thrown them out. Sorry. I wish there was more I could do to help.
Well, actually, there is. Do you have a map that would lead me to Parr's house?
You know, there's nothing left out there but smoldering wood.
Yes, but I still need to see it for myself. Look, I'm sure we don't have much time before the sheriff gets back, and I can't waste it playing games. You seem like a good man, and I hope I can trust you.
Trust me with what?
I'm a doctor, working for a secret government agency that deals specifically with cases like Rustin Parr's.
What? And what agency would that be?
If I told you, it wouldn't be much of a secret, would it?
Yeah, I suppose not. What about your missing niece?
The missing niece is a fabrication, a cover story. It's important that you believe me now, Mr. Hobart.
Call me Charlie. You know, Sheriff Bowers would lock you up if he heard the things you just told me.
I know, but I had to take that chance. Please, Charlie, I need that map.
The sheriff would have my hide if he found it missing. But I tell you what, we just won't tell him, will we? I gotta warn you, though, the map isn't complete. It'll get you close, but you'll have to find the house on your own once you get there. The path leading into the forest is behind the school.
Thank you, Charlie. At least now I have a map to what's left of Parr's house. I can't carry all my gear in town. I'll get it before I go into the woods. I'm not ready to go into the forest just yet. I wonder how the remaining children in this town have weathered this tragedy. Perhaps their teacher has some insight. Excuse me?
Oh, good Lord. Hello there. I'm sorry. I must have drifted off.
I can return later if you like.
No, don't rush off. I'm Suzanne Ascot. Can I help you?
My name is Elspeth Holliday. I'm here in search of my missing niece.
Oh, no. This nightmare is endless.
Are you all right?
All right? How could I possibly be all right? Over half my students were slaughtered. My children.
I know what's happened must have taken a terrible toll on you. I wish there was something I could do.
You'll have to excuse me. I haven't been myself lately. No, there's nothing you can do for me. Thank you, though. I'm terribly sorry about your niece.
Why don't you just leave town? Get away for a while.
If it were only that easy. But that's up to my husband.
Your husband?
Mm-hmm. Stephen Ascot, pastor of the church. I've asked him, begged him to move away, but he refuses. He says that without him, no one would be left in the town to appeal to God. Satan would swallow Burkittsville whole. But we've already lost 8 of our beautiful children.
8? Now, I thought only 7 died.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Brody. Well, he isn't dead, but how could anyone say he's alive? Poor boy. He'll never be the same.
What's wrong with him?
After he escaped from Parr, he became unreachable. He doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't talk.
That's awful. He must have been severely traumatized.
I just wish there was some way to pull those terrible memories out of his head.
I do too.
Especially after a glimpse of what's in his mind. He drew this a few weeks ago. Some weird scribbles and symbols with the words, "Leave me alone."
That is disturbing.
Yes, I know. I almost stopped going by to check on him after I saw this. It's just so heartbreaking.
Would you mind if I kept this?
Well, if you want it. I know I'd be happy never to see it again.
Would it be possible for me to see Kyle?
That's not a good idea. He's not big on strangers anymore.
He's not the only one.
You could always try, though. I'd love to have your help if you think there's a way you can break through to him. The Brody house is out behind the hotel. If you must see them, the Brodys live in the house behind the hotel.
The children Parr murdered accounted for half of the town's child population, and now it seems that the one survivor, a boy named Kyle Brody, is lost in a world of his own. The local schoolteacher, Suzanne Ascot, has been keeping track of Kyle's progress during his recovery from the abduction. She showed me one of the boy's drawings. There are strange symbols in the sketch that resemble alphabetic characters. Almost runic, but nothing I recognize. There might be something more to these markings. Perhaps Kyle saw these symbols at Rustin Parr's house. If the townspeople hadn't burned the place to the ground, I could get samples and possibly translate the alphabet. Kyle Brody's house is behind the motel. I'll try to meet with him myself.
How can I help you, ma'am?
Mrs. Brody, I'm Elspeth Holliday. My sister...
Yes, I've heard about you, and I am sorry for your loss, but you'll find no answers here.
I'd like to speak with Kyle to see if he remembers anything about Jenny.
You will do no such thing. Listen, Miss Holliday, I know the pain your family must be going through, but I don't know if my son will ever be the same. Some days he seems like he's making progress, and then he slips back away from me. It's a mother's worst nightmare. Since they found him in Parr, he's been like the walking dead. Oh, God, it rips my heart out to see him like this every day. Please, just go away. Just go. Don't bother my family anymore, for God's sake. We've been through enough. Goodbye, Miss Holliday.
Just met Kyle Brody's mother. She's in pretty bad shape, and the boy's even worse. He sits on his porch, staring blankly off into space and clutching a ragged teddy bear. I'm convinced now that Parr was practicing some form of black magic. The symbols in Kyle's sketch are too uniform to be random scrawlings. They must be characters of some sort of alphabet, something that burned into his memory. They have some similarity with the demonic scripture I've seen. But how would Rustin Parr have learned a demon's alphabet? I'm ready to go into the woods now. I better take my gear with me. I'm ready to go into the woods now. I better take my gear with me. I've been here before, in that dream. Even the window is shattered.
Oh, hello there, young lady. I was so deep in prayer I didn't hear you come in.
I can return later if you're busy.
Nonsense. God is eternal. He'll always be there when I return. But you're here now. You must be Elspeth Holliday. What can I do for you?
Word gets around fast in this town.
I'll say a prayer for your niece.
I'd rather find an explanation in Burkittsville. After the Rustin Parr trial, I started wondering if maybe he...
Oh, no, not possible.
Well, is there anything at all you can tell me about Parr?
His is a lost soul.
That's all? Oh, out of curiosity, what happened to that stained glass window behind you?
It's a mystery. I just found it that way last Sunday morning.
No, I shouldn't draw my weapons in town.
Oh, snuck up on me, huh? What can I do you for?
Sorry, I didn't mean to surprise you. My name is Elspeth Holliday.
I'm Horace Gersten. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Register. Are you a reporter? Oh, you've missed the big story.
So I've heard. But I'm not a reporter, and that's not why I'm here. Well, not directly, anyway.
I see. Well, this sounds interesting.
My 8-year-old niece has been missing for months. I'm trying to find some information about Rustin Parr.
Well, you came to the right place. I can give you the morning edition. It'll bring you up to date.
Oh, that would be wonderful. You seem awfully busy. You've broken the big story, haven't you?
Oh, already wrapped that. I'm on to a bigger one. This town ain't seen nothing yet.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Parr?
Well, I could, but, well, you'd probably better talk to the sheriff first. Have you met Junior?
The sheriff doesn't seem interested in my case.
Yeah, the Parr murders have taken a big toll on old Junior.
I've been told several stories about the Blair Witch.
Yeah, and you've been in town, what, a day? I've heard 'em all. There's definitely something in those woods, though. You ever been out there?
No, but I plan to.
Well, don't become a headline, Miss Holliday.
Hello.
Daniel Cole. What do you want?
I'm looking for my niece.
She's not here.
Thank you. I can see that. But she's been missing for months. We think she's been kidnapped. Now, perhaps Rustin Parr.
I told the police everything I know about Parr. He came in here and said, "I'm finally finished." Then the police found the missing kids at his place. End of story. Now, is there anything you'd like to buy? This is a store, after all.
I'd like to purchase a map of the forest.
Lady, I have maps of streets. They don't make maps of forests. I'm not running a tourist shop here. Anything else I can help you with?
Ah, nice to see you again, Miss Holliday. Still interested in learning about our local legends?
Absolutely.
This book will reveal many things to you. As a single source, it doesn't constitute proof, but I have other volumes that verify its claims.
Well, books can only explain so much, but thank you. I'm sure I'll find it fascinating. Finally, I found someone in this little town that doesn't get on my nerves. The town librarian, Peter Durant, is well educated and quite helpful. He also seems to be the sole link to the real history of Burkittsville. I tried to instill some doubt in him, but he's rock solid in his beliefs. He gave me a book entitled Frederick County Tales of the Supernatural. Mostly superstitions and local folklore. The few entries that mention the Blair Witch don't offer anything beyond what Spookhouse has already gathered. Is this everything that's been written concerning the Blair Witch?
Believe any of it now?
Interesting, but hardly conclusive. By the way, the Robin Weaver incident was mentioned in the book you loaned me. Since you were actually there, do you remember anything they might have missed?
Well, there was one man that stands out in my mind. He came in right in the middle of everything. He had a massive wound on his head and claimed he had no memory. Robin Weaver's grandmother called him some biblical name. What was it? Oh, yes, Lazarus, like the man that was raised from the dead. I talked to him briefly, skeptical of his intentions, but I doubt he had anything to do with Robin's disappearance. He was pretty keen on finding her.
What happened to him?
I'm not sure. Just sort of disappeared. Maybe the witch got him. Yep, Burkittsville has a strange history. Amazing stuff.
Feel free to come back if you have any more questions.
Finally, to Parr's house, and perhaps visit Coffin Rock as well. The map grows awfully vague this far from town. I'm close to Parr's house, but I'll have to fill in my own details from here.